Alright, so this is my DSARI project for BBE 2201. So a little background information on my home. This is my family home in Minnesota. It's a single family home with a detached garage, and it was built in 1927, although it was recently renovated in 2011, and it's about 3,000 square feet in size. For some energy background, the average US household uses about 11,000 kilowatt hours per year, and in Minnesota, the average home uses about 9,800 kilowatt hours per year, which works out to about 871 kilowatt hours per month. And despite the cold climate, residential electricity use in Minnesota is actually 16% below the national average, and this is due in large part because many homes use natural gas for heating. And the largest categories of energy use are air conditioning, space heating, and water heating. And together, these categories account for over half of a household's energy consumption. The residential sector accounts for roughly 20% of total energy use and also 20% of total greenhouse gas emissions in the United States. And over the past few decades, the trend is that residential energy use has been declining, even though modern houses are bigger and have more appliances and electronics. And this decline can be attributed to many factors like improved insulation and more efficient heaters, air conditioners, and appliances. So for my energy audit, I used an electricity meter to take measurements of 8 different devices around my house, which included constant power devices, variable power devices, and a light bulb. So apart from measuring electricity use using a power meter, I also took a time log of how long I used each of the 8 devices over a 1-week period. I averaged the daily use times and used the average use time to calculate the daily and monthly watt hours for each device. Alright, so this is how I calculated the daily energy use of a constant power device, and for this example I used my microwave. I used my power meter to measure the power when the microwave was on, which was 1,906 watts, and also measured the phantom power when the microwave was off, which worked out to 1.5 watts. Then I multiplied the power on and power off by the times I got from my time log to get 247.8 watt hours per day when on and 35.8 watt hours per day when off. And then adding those two together gives the total daily electricity usage, which is 283.6 watt hours per day. And then next, to calculate the daily energy use of a variable power device like my fridge, I set my power meter to the kilowatt hour measuring mode and left the refrigerator plugged in for 26 hours. Then I divided my reading, which was 1.28 kilowatt hours, divided that by 26 hours of elapsed time, and then multiplied that by 24 hours in a day to get 1.18 kilowatt hours per day. And finally, to calculate the daily energy use of a light bulb, instead of using a power meter, I read the power rating off of the light bulb, which turned out to be 15 watts in my case, and then multiplied that by the average use time for my time log, which was 5.6 hours, to get a daily electricity use of 82.5 watt hours per day. And here's the full data table where I calculated the kilowatt hours per day and per month for all 8 of my devices. And in total, I got 1.92 kilowatt hours per day and 57.4 kilowatt hours per month after adding up all 8 devices. And these are the photos of all the measurements I took. According to my electricity bill, my household used 1,099 kilowatt hours of electricity in the month of February. Since the 8 devices I measured only summed up to about 57.4 kilowatt hours per month, it's clear that I didn't measure the highest electricity users. Obviously, the majority of my home's electricity use goes to space heating, air conditioning, and water heating, as well as other appliances that use a lot of electricity like my washer and dryer. And since I couldn't access the plug for my kitchen fridge, I measured the garage fridge instead, but obviously my kitchen fridge would consume just as much, if not more, electricity because it's open more and it's bigger. And finally, my mom drives an electric car, which also consumes electricity that I didn't measure in my audit. And in terms of potential improvements that I can make based on my data, I can address the phantom power that my microwave uses by not leaving it plugged in 24/7. And also, I can maybe ditch the garage fridge since I don't use it for all that much anyways. And here are my sources, and that's all I got. Thanks for watching.